Hi students, welcome for the next session of analyzing questions, and in this we are going to lesson number 3. In the lesson number 3, in lesson number 3 we have also been given just like in the previous, we have been given different statements or words which we are supposed to fit in different statements, and here it is choose the correct word, use the correct word from the list to complete the statements. So in the first one is scientific changes in an experiment. So what we refer to as scientific changes in an experiment is nothing but rather independent variables. These are independent variables. So independent variables are what we are regarding to be scientific changes in an experiment. In the next one is a factor that does not change. So a factor that does not change. So in an experiment, the factor that does not change is regarded to be a constant. It is regarded to be a constant. Then a written record of observations. So if you pose a question, come up with a hypothesis, then test your hypothesis by either observation, by senses, or even by experiment, and then what you collect here will be data. What you will collect will be data. So a proposed explanation for wide range of observations and experimental results, a proposed explanation for a wide range of observation and experimental results that is supported by a wide range of evidence. So what we are meaning here is when we are looking at a proposed explanation for a wide range of observation, we are basically talking about a theory, and not the theory that we know, which is supposed to mean in our normal day-to-day life. Theory here means, to us, it means a speculation. To us, theory means a speculation, but in science, a theory is not a speculation, but rather it has to be having a wide range of observations and experiments carried on it before it is regarded to be a theory, and a theory normally is accepted by the scientific community. A theory is accepted by the scientific community. Number 5, scientific change on a factor to see how it affects the outcome of a situation. So scientific change. So when you carry out scientific changes on a factor, or then to see how it affects the outcome, then what you are doing is basically an experiment. What you are doing is an experiment. Then collecting information about a topic. So when you collect information, for example, you have come up with a question, or you have posed a question. With the question, you have come up with a hypothesis. So to test this hypothesis, you have to make observation. So when you are collecting this information, then we say you are observing. Then possible answers to scientific questions. So possible answers to scientific questions are hypotheses. Hypothesis. So what is a scientific? Scientist measures as the outcome or result of experiment. That one. So what a scientist measures as an outcome or result of an experiment is a dependent variable. So These were basically what were supposed to be used to fill the blank spaces that were missing in that session. Next question. What role does hypothesis play in scientific inquiry? What role does a hypothesis play in a scientific inquiry? So first of all, we know that a hypothesis comes only after a question. So first, as a scientist gets a problem, so as you come up, you get a problem, you have to come up with questions. Ask yourself, maybe why, how did it happen, and so forth. After getting these questions, you will come up with hypotheses. So a hypothesis, as we saw earlier, is a statement. It will be a statement which will be proposing giving a proposition of what could really have happened. So the answer here would be a hypothesis leads to a testable prediction. A testable prediction of what would happen if the hypothesis was really valid. If the hypothesis was valid, then it should have testable prediction. If you cannot test the hypothesis, then it will not play any role in a scientific inquiry, because you will not get what you really want. You will not get what you really want. So differences between independent and dependent variables.